All right. So looking at this, right, here's the question here. We're doing the chapter 5 and chapter 6. So we're dealing with both periodic purchases as well as sales, okay? Chapter 5 was dealing with the purchases, chapter 6 was dealing with the sales. So this is what a typical daily business transaction sales would look like, all right? Here's a few things that you should know. Your inventory method is periodic and it is LIFO. All right. Assume that sales tax is 8.25% and so on and so forth. So this is for the month of May. What I want you to do is I've also attached a little chart of accounts. So please let's use the chart of accounts because this is going to be very important. We're going to practice how to properly journalize. But at the same time, I'm teaching you this so that when we dive into our fictitious business, right, our class project, we kind of have a set of, rules or, what workbooks do we need to use for this particular transaction. So in this case, I list out a scenario, right? Each day has its own date. We're going to be journalizing it. We're going to use the chart of accounts to, place our information in its specific place, right? We can only be limited to what we see on our chart of accounts. And we're going to practice journalizing every single transaction. So here is our periodic inventory table. Here is our journal. So let's get started. With the very first one, what happened on May 1st?
About 500 brown mugs at $265. Freight was $100.
What else? And we place that on an account, right?
We have, if we pay within the 15, we got it was on the account for copies.
Capisco.
Capisco.
Yep.
On that account. The terms is if we pay, we get 5%, off if we pay in the first 30 or not, everything before 30 days.
Good. So here we have a transaction. Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't. Where is this chapter review at? I'm looking on Google Classroom right now.
It should be under chapter 6. It should be like the first document in chapter 5 and 6.
In chapter 5 and 6?
Oh, I mean, under chapter 6. It should be under there. Okay. So, here's the first transaction, right? Let's go ahead and journalize first. So, let's go to my journal. Okay, so I'm going to go to my general journal. How am I going to journalize this? What do I need to recognize? Since I have two key factors, right? We recognize that our purchases is going to be periodic inventory. And the second thing is that we're given terms. Okay? So how are we going to journalize this?
Start with the date, May 1st.
Got it? Okay. First things first is we need to look at what available accounts we have under our chart of accounts. So let's take a look. Do we have what we need?
Yes, 551 would be purchase expense.
Good.
And then accounts payable 201.
Accounts payable 201. Okay.
I don't have the top on my screen, so I'm not sure what else. Let's see. We're taking a discount later.
Yes.
So let's see. Freight expense, 511.
Perfect. So we're going to recognize purchase expense first. I'm going to do everything. So purchase expense was for 551. Okay. We got freight expense for 511. And you said we had an accounts payable. Good, because we placed it on an account. We're not paying it now. We're paying it later. All right. Now, how much was my total purchase price here? Okay. If I bought 500 brown mugs at $2.65 each, how much was my total purchase price?
Is it total purchase price including freight or just
Just my purchase price.
13.25?
$13.25. Good. And how much was my freight?
$100.
It was $100. Okay. So therefore, what is the total amount that I owe? $14.25. You okay, Felipe?
Yes.
Okay. So there you go, $14.25. Now, because we are coming to the conclusion of wrapping up my journal, I need to write a description because I purchased. Okay, so usually rule of thumb is you're going to recognize who the vendor is. Okay, we bought this from Cuppies Co. Okay, comma. What did you purchase? I purchased. In this case, you don't need to write purchase. You could just say 500 mugs, right? At $2.65 each. And what were my terms?
15% off in the first 5% off first 15 days, and net in 30.
Good. So I'm going to put that there just so that it reminds me that, hey, this person gave me terms. That means within 15 days, if I pay within 15 days, at least I know I get a 5% discount. Okay? So there you go. I finished my journal. Now, the second thing I got to do is I got to enter that into my workbook. All right? So I made a purchase on the 1st of May. I bought 500 items at $2.65 with a freight of $100. So therefore, what's my total purchase price here?
$13.25.
Good. And total?
$14.25. And then cost per item is $2.85.
Good. $2.85. So that means for any time I sell an item, it's going to cost me $2.85. Now, we have to remember, what is our costing method? Let's go back to the scenario. What was my costing method?
Last in, first out?
Yes, last in, first out. So we're just going to do that as a reminder. We're not going to complete it yet because we don't have the given information, right? We don't know what our ending inventory is. So in this case, I just want to make sure you guys know. Keep in your mind, it's LIFO. So you're going to be calculating your cost per item, but just making sure that, okay, this batch, there will be other batches that we'll be encountering. So this will not be for sure. It's not my final number. Okay? So if you want to color code it, go ahead and color code it. I will not. Okay? All right. So we have that. Okay? So then what has happened next on May 5th?
You returned 15 broken mugs for a full refund.
Okay, yes, we did. So let's go to my journal real quick. Or actually, yeah, let's do journal first and then we'll do the rest however you guys want to do it. So this is May 5th, right? All right. So let's check our chart of accounts, right? What did we do?
Return and allowances.
Yes, we got a purchase returns and allowances, which is account number 556. Now, how did we pay Cuppies Co?
Under credit.
Under credit.
Yeah.
Correct. So in this case, what do we need to use? How are we going to get back the money that we owe? We got a refund, right? A full refund. So how did we pay Cuppies Co in the first place?
Would it be a purchase discount?
It's not a purchase discount because we didn't get a discount.
Okay.
We
Well,
put
then-
it on account.
We placed it on an account.
Yes.
So in this case, we need to lower our accounts payable. We have to lower what we owe Cuppies Co because we're getting a refund. So in this case, we are going to be debiting our liabilities because we're reducing it, right? We're decreasing the amount that we owe. Okay? And this was account number 201, right? And then we're recognizing that we're getting a full refund, right? For our purchase returns and allowances, which we know to find out it was account number 556, okay? So here, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go ahead and go into the inventory worksheet real quick because now I need to solve for how much those 15 items are. So they're broken, right? Therefore, we have to ship it back. It's not good to us, right? So we're getting a full refund for the 15 items. Now, how much did those 15 each cup cost me?
$285.
That's with the freight.
265.
265, right? We cannot include freight. So in this case, we can only be refunded for the original purchase price, which is $2.65. So 265. Okay. So therefore, how much is my total refund?
$39.75.
$39.75 is my total refund because I'm returning 15 for $265 to give me a grand total of $39.75. So if you want to color code this to give you an association that this batch belongs to this batch, because we end up returning 15 of them, we don't have all 500 items anymore. We have less than that. So go ahead and if you want to color code that so you guys can make an association, then go ahead and do that. But I'm going to also place it here because if we're going to be figuring it out together, we need to know that this is now, right? We started out with 500, but we end up returning 15 of those items. Okay? And now that means my total cost is going to be different, right? We had a total cost originally for $14.25, but we ended up returning $39.75. So therefore, my new total cost is going to be $13.85.25, right? Because we essentially returned our items, so therefore we got rid of those items. We don't have them anymore. So this is where if you want to take the time now to recalculate your cost per item, go ahead and do so. So in this case, I'm going to take my $13.85.25 and I'm going to divide the whole thing by my new quantity of $4.85 because that's what I have currently available. Okay, and I'm going to stretch this out so you guys can see that this isn't a very nice number. Okay, so from this very transaction, okay, I originally purchased 500 on May 1st, but I ended up returning 15 of those items on May 5th to give me now a new grand total of 485, okay, with a new grand total of 1385.25. Okay, everyone go with me so far?
Can you go over the unit cost real quick? So I
Which
got
one?
the 485 from the quantity after we minus the 500.
Good.
15 from the 500.
Uh-huh. So this
And
is
then
going to be your total cost, right? Your new total cost divided by your quantity.
And for that new total cost, we just subtracted the 39.75 from the
1425. Correct. Okay. All right. So everyone go with me so far?
yep, got it.
Okay. Perfect. So there we have it. We're gonna, this is my workspace. I'm just gonna make that area like that so then we can continue going forth. And we know for a fact that we don't have 500 available. We only have 485. Okay. So then what has happened next? Oh, well, actually, let's finish up our journal.
I was just gonna say, we didn't put in our amounts, which is 39.75.
39.75. 39.75. Okay. And of course, my note here is you could write the same vendor, but in this case, we know who the vendor is. I'm just going to say return 15 broken mugs at $265 each for full refund. Okay. Right. So then that way, when we look at our transaction, we actually know what happened. Because if you're going to be responsible for the general journal, and you fast forward like 3 months later and you go back 3 months, are you going to know exactly what you did here? That's why the description is most important, because you can add as much details as you like on there, just so that you can remember what that transaction was. Okay? If you just wrote I returned, okay, then there's a lot of holes, and then you have to go back to the actual journal, then go back to the inventory worksheet to figure out what this return was for. Okay. All right. So let's see what has happened next. Oh, okay. So in this case, something happened on the same day. What did you do? What happened here?
We sold 10 mugs at $9.99 each for cash.
Okay. So let's take a look at our chart of accounts. We sold 10 cups for cash. So let's take a look at our chart of accounts. What do we need to have?
102.
102 for cash. Good. What else do we need?
401 for sales.
401 for sales. And what else?
You also need, let me see which one that one, but
Which one you want to put?
I guess 230 for sales tax.
Absolutely, because the very top of this window, what did I say? Assume sales tax is 8.25%. Okay, so make sure that you guys, read this carefully. So we sold 10 cups at $9.99 each for cash. So let's go ahead and go into my journal. All right, same day, so May 5th. So what am I receiving?
Cash.
you're receiving cash, which we recognize as 102. Okay. We also have sales. And we also have sales tax. Okay, so this was 401 and I believe my sales tax was 230. Yeah, sales tax is 230. So there I am. All right. So, how much was my total sales if I sold 10 cups for $9.99 each?
With tax or without?
Right now we're just focusing on just the sales.
Oh, $99.90.
$99.90. So, how do I solve for my sales tax?
Times your, the price times the, tax percentage,
Yes. Okay, so in this case, what's my percentage?
8.25, I think you said?
Yes, 8.25. So equal round.
Yeah, we
Wait,
can't see what you're doing.
you can't see?
Oh, when you said equal round, I thought you were doing math on what you're presenting, that's all.
Yes. Equal round. Yes. So I'm going to take my $9.99, multiply it by my 8.25%.
Are you
So
showing them this?
I am showing you this.
Okay, we're not seeing it.
Yeah, I think you're froze up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
was trying to explain to you.
All right, just give me 1 second. Right. So I went ahead and equal round it in my formula. So I did equal round. I took my 990 multiplied by my 8.25%, comma 2, because I want 2 decimal places. So what is my total tax I should be collecting? $8.24. So therefore, in grand total, how much cash should I be receiving?
$108.14.
$108.14. Okay.
See the formula again? The equal round, and then in the parentheses would be the 990
Mhm.
times the 8 point.
Mhm. And you want to end your calculation with a comma, and the next argument is how many decimal places do you want it to be to round the number to, and we want 2 because we want the nearest penny.
Okay, I'm good.
All right, so it gives you $8.24. Last thing I'm going to note here is I sold 10 mugs at $9.99 each. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay. All right, so with this sales, do I need to go to my inventory worksheet?
Yes?
Why? Let's take a look. Inventory worksheet. Where can I put my sales?
Maybe not.
Okay. How do we know how many items we sell?
Would that be considered an allowance? I'm just asking.
Uh, Elaborate. What do you mean by that?
Okay. Well, because we want to journalize that we sold them, so I'm just looking, anytime that we get rid of inventory, it's out of the returns, allowances, and discounts. Well, this isn't a return or discount, so would we use the allowances for sales?
Absolutely not. Because
Okay.
because here we do have a special thing called cost of goods sold. That's going to be technically your sold or items that you sold,
Yes.
but in this case, Do we care about our sales?
I would say not,
No.
because
What?
it's not at the end of the period when we're doing our final tally. So when we get to the end, we'll know what our sales are.
That is absolutely correct. Okay, so we're dealing with periodic inventory. We don't care about sales, or we don't care to keep track of what we sold. So in this case, we don't need to keep track of it. All we care is about journalizing that a sale has happened, but we don't update our journal, or we don't update our inventory worksheet. We don't find out until the very end when someone goes down to the basement, gives us a final count of what we have, and then we can go from there. Then we make the assumption, oh, if this is what I have left and this is what I returned, this is what I purchased, then the only assumption there is I must have sold everything else. Okay? Not the best measurement of doing business, but it exists. Okay? All right? So, there we are. We have the answer. When we're dealing with sales, we do not need to go into the inventory worksheet because our inventory worksheet, as you can see, we only care about our purchases. So at the very top right here, it says purchases. All right? Bottom here, purchase returns and allowances. Okay? Nothing to do with our sales. Okay? All right? So then, what has happened next on May 6th?
We sold. Oh, go ahead. So
You sold 20 mugs at $9.99 each.
To who?
To customer A.
To customer A on an account. And we gave them some terms as well. Okay? We gave them, oh, I'll give you a 10% discount if you pay me within 10 days. But if not, your whole entire bill is due in 30. Okay? So from this right here, how are we going to journalize this? Let's take a look at my accounts. I sold something, but what did I sell it? How did I sell this?
account receivables.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we gave it to customer A on an account. So accounts receivable is correct. So going back to my journal once again, okay, we're going to recognize that it is now May 6th, and we're going to recognize that we sold to customer A on an account. So accounts receivable. Okay. All right, and what account number is that?
103.
103. Excellent. Other things that we have to include is, right, we sold something, and we, yes, taxes, good. Okay. So sales was 401 and sales taxes 230. Okay, I just looked right from above and pulled the information back down. So, how much was my total sales? If I sold 20 cups to customer A for $9.99 each. So they don't get a special discount. They're a regular customer. The only difference is they get a special discount if they pay me back on time.
99.80.
So $199.80. So we sold 20 mugs at $9.99. Oops. Yep, right here, journal. So here, I'm just going to do quick math. So, okay, we got $199.80. How much tax is going to be on that?
$16.48.
$16.48. So in grand total, how much does customer A owe me?
$216.28.
Good. So one thing I'm going to write here is customer A. This is customer A's account. All right. We gave them terms, right? I could write sold 20 mugs. At $9.99 each. All right. And what were my terms that I gave them?
10% if in the first 10 days. If not, net 30.
Perfect. They must pay in full in 30 days. So that's definitely something we want to place in there just so that we kind of note that in 10 days, so they have till the 16th to pay me. And if they don't, they lose that 10% discount. Okay? So there we are. Once again, do we need to place this in our inventory worksheet?
Oh, because it's a sales?
Correct. Good. All right. So therefore, we can go ahead and move on to the next scenario. So here, what happened on May 8th?
It's 250 mils at 275.
We purchased good. Okay. What else information do we have here?
Right cost for $50.
Okay, good. And we place it on an account from Cuppy's Co. once again. And because this is a second batch, right? The first batch that we purchased was on the 1st. This is 8 days later. Okay? 8 days later, so we get a new terms for this particular batch. 5%, 15, net 30. Okay? So in this case, you have a choice. You want to go to the inventory worksheet first and then journalize?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Inventory worksheet, right? It is now May 8th. We purchased 250 items at $275 with a freight of $50. So what is my total purchase price?
$737.50.
Seven.
Price is $687.50. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Total cost?
That's the $737.50.
Perfect. And in this case, what is my cost per item in case I don't do any returns?
2.95.
2.95. Okay? Good. So now we have our information. We have our total purchase price, we have our freight, and we have our total cost. So let's go ahead and journalize our purchase of inventory. So in this case, it is now May 8th. What am I going to recognize?
Purchase expense,
Okay, good.
freight expense.
Right.
So it'll be like the top 551 for purchase, 511 for freight, and then accounts payable at 201.
Perfect. I just went ahead and copied the information from above. But this time I am purchasing a total of 250 mugs. Okay, at a price of $275 each. But my terms are still the same. It's 5%, 15, net 30. Okay. All right, so like we solved from the previous one, right? What was my total purchase price?
$737.50.
Okay, that's the total. That's the total.
Oh,
Yep. So we add these up together to get the $737.50. Okay. All right. We already journalized it and we placed it into our inventory worksheet already. So this transaction is complete. Okay. Everyone good now?
Can you give me 1 second to
Mhm.
switch my...
Mhm.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. All right. All right. So now that we have that, what happened on the same day?
We
Return. Go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
You returned 50 mugs because they were the wrong color. They were returned back to copies, and you were offered a 15% discount that you accepted.
Okay. So we originally purchased brown mugs, right? But they decided to send us 50 black ones. And it's like, well, I originally purchased the brown ones. But they convinced us, hey, you could still sell the black ones. They're the same thing, they're just different colors. So they decided to offer us a 50% discount because they sent us the wrong cups. So in this case, what am I doing? What am I going to be accepting in this point?
You're going to accept a 15% discount off of 50 cups from the 295.
$2.95.
Wouldn't it be from May 1st purchase? Because those were the only ones that say brown.
Okay.
And the ones that we purchased on May 8th has no color on it.
Well, that's because the assumption here is
It was from the same batch.
it's from the same batch, correct. Like when we received it, we opened it up just to make sure that all the items are there, and we see that they shipped us 50 of them were black. So, yes, I guess if in that kind of context, yes. Since the first one was brown mugs, the second one I wasn't specific. So they shipped me the wrong color anyway. Okay, so in this case, usually any returns or any allowances usually typically happen from the previous batch or the most recent one that you purchased. Because it's already been a week and you're going to ask for another refund after you've refunded the broken mugs. That's kind of, you should have just asked the refund all at once, kind of deal. Okay. So in this case, they sent us a wrong one for the second batch, which is the May 8th. And let's go ahead and determine it here in the inventory worksheet. So in this case, it's not for $2.95 because that's including freight. At what purchase price am I going to, or at what unit price?
The 275, I'm sorry.
Correct, $2.75. So here I'm going to go ahead and go to my purchase returns and allowances. I didn't actually return the product. However, I did return the batch. Okay, or I got a discount off the batch. Okay, so in this case, I am attempting to get, all right, equal round. We're doing 50 times the 275, or in this case, I'm going to cell reference this one. And I'm going to get a 15% discount. So what is my grand total here that I'm going to get a refund for?
$22.12 or 15 cents.
I got 2063.
Okay, 2063, okay. So we're going to take 50, right? Because that's what we're going to get a discount off of. It's just the 50 mugs that we originally purchased it for, which was for $2.75. Then we're going to take 15% because we're only getting 50% back. We're not getting the whole amount back. We're only getting a portion of it back. So in this case, with my calculations, it should be $20.63. Okay. So here in my little inventory, area right here, I can go ahead and solve for this because even though we didn't return in quantity, we still made a change in the total cost because 50 of those mugs are being discounted. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and calculate it right now. So here I have 250 mugs right? Because 250 minus 0 gives me still the same amount. However, my total cost of the 737.50 is not going to be there anymore, right? Because we ended up getting a refund or an allowance for $20.63. So in this case, how much is my new total cost?
716.87.
Good. So therefore, I need to recalculate my cost per item now, because even though I have my quantities the same, my total cost has changed, right? Because now I have a discounted price. So my purchase price is no longer going to be the $687.50. It's going to be a lot significantly lower. Okay? By the 20 by I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So therefore, I need to spread the $50 across the other 250 items, right? But knowing that my purchase price is not $687 anymore, it's going to be $20.63 lower. So in this case, I need to calculate a new cost per item, which is going to be how much?
287.
287. In this case, in my cell, I appeared it to be like that, but if I pull it out, it's going to be 286748. Okay. Good. If you want to color code it, go ahead and color this batch.
So we got the same answer, but what was your equation on that one?
It's the same thing. I just took the total cost of the 716.87 and divided it by the 250. Okay, it's the same thing as up here, right? If I take my total cost divided by my quantity, that's essentially the same exact formula right here. I'm just solving for, because I have a new cost now.
Okay, no, I didn't skip a line on that top or underneath where it says quantity and unit and total cost, so I didn't skip that. So right now when I see your formula, it said G17 and E17. Mine's is a different number, so that's what threw me off.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's because I skipped a line here.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Can I see cell J18, please?
Cell J18.
I just wanted to see the formula to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, I just multiplied the 50 because we returned 50, but not really, by the 275, because that's how much we're allowed to be discounted off of. We can't be discounted off of the whole entire thing. They only allow us a 50% discount off of what we're trying to attempt to return. Because the rest, the other 200, they're correct. So they don't need to discount off of that. Okay. All right. So now we're good to go and we're ready to place our journal down. Okay. So again, it is still May 8th. And because we attempted to return, okay, what is going to be our journal? How is that journal going to look like?
Accounts payable,
Accounts payable. And what else?
purchase returns and allowances.
Yes. This is going to be the allowance part. It's not a full refund. It's the allowance. So let me see. Let me go up here. Copy this right here. Okay. And we're going to fix this real quick because we did not get a full refund. So here we're going to go ahead and say that we returned 50 black mugs, okay, at $2.75 each for 15% discount. All right, and we know what that number is. It's the $20.63 that we solved for in our little window over there. Okay. Everyone good so far? Okay. So let's see what has happened next. We're on May 10 now.
Sold the 30 cups for $9.99 for cash.
Okay, perfect. So what's my journal going to look like?
Cash, sales, and sales tax payable.
Good. Copy this down right here. Okay. This is May 10 now. Okay, we received cash, sales, okay. But this time, how many items did we sell?
30.
We sold 30 of them, okay. So what is my total sales going to be?
$2.99.70.
Good. What's my tax going to be?
24.72525.
All right. Can we charge a customer that amount?
No, I was going to say, do we round up instead of it being seen as taxes?
Government always rounds up. So what's my total tax?
24.73.
24.73. So how much cash am I actually receiving?
$324.43.
Very good. Right. So that is my journal there. Okay. All right. So then what has happened next on May 12th?
Mugs. You sold 60 mugs at $9.99 each.
To who?
Customer B on account terms.
Good. So in this case, what am I going to be journalizing?
Receivable.
Accounts receivable. Good.
Sales and sales tax payable.
Good. So right here, just going to copy this real quick. All right, perfect. We reached the end of our first page here. So this is May 12th. Okay. Few minor adjustments is that we sold to customer B. All right, and we sold 60 mugs to him. Okay, at 99 each. But the terms are still the same. I'm gonna treat all my customers the same. They're gonna get a 10% if they pay within 10 days. If not, they owe me in full in 30. All right. So what is going to be my total sales?
$5.99.40.
$5.99.40. What is my tax going to be on that $9.99.40? $5.99.40.
49.45.
$49.45. So in grand total, how much does customer B owe me?
$648.85.
648.85. Excellent. Okay. So that means in 10 days. That means if customer B decides to pay me on the 22nd, they're going to be able to receive 10% discount. Okay? All right. So that's that sale right there. So we got a couple customers. Okay. So then what has happened on the 15th of May?
Customer B returns 30 mugs for a full refund.
Okay. So 5 days later or 3 days later, he comes back to the store and says, I changed my mind. I don't like this. I want half of them gone. Oh, I don't need as many. So, this is a customer. So, how are we going to deal with this customer?
Sales return and allowance.
Good. Right? So, 406. What else are we going to be refunding them?
Oh, the sales tax.
Yes, we got to refund the sales tax. Good. How did customer B pay us?
On an account receivable. So
Excellent. Good. So, 406 for the sales returns and allowances. Good. So, I'm on page 2 now. All right. The date is May 12th. We got a sales returns and allowances, right? Because they want a refund. So, 406. We have to give them back their sales tax. And lastly, they paid on an accounts receivable. So here, instead of giving cash back to them, we're essentially going to lower what they owe us because that's what the refund is for. We can't give them cash. They never paid us in the first place, so we need to lower the amount that they owe us. So 103. Okay. So let's figure it out together. How many items is customer B returning?
30.
Right? And at original, what price did I charge him for?
$9.99.
Okay, so therefore, how much is my total refund for just the mugs?
$2.99.70.
$299.70. All right. So, how much tax am I going to be returning to customer B?
$24.73.
$24.73. So therefore, how much in grand total am I reducing from the amount that they owe us?
$324.43.
Good. So here,
Where did you get the $299.70?
so it's going to be 30 mugs times the $9.99 because that's what we sold this customer for. Okay? That's our selling price for these mugs. And he's returning 30 of them.
And for the tax payable, that was the equal round, right?
Yes, that's the equal round because, tax is 8.25%. I want to make sure that we round to the nearest penny on how much we're going to give back to this customer.
That was a $24.73.
Yes.
The credit was those two added together.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
Then my note's going to be customer B returns 30 mugs for full refund. You okay there?
Oh yeah, I just typed in all that equal round stuff and then it just erased. I don't know. I think I got something going on.
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. I'm just utilizing what I have on my Excel just to calculate it for me. You don't have to if you prefer a calculator and punching it in. That's okay too. You're not wrong there. But just utilize the Excel for what it is.
I'll put 24 cents.
Yep, 2473. Do you need that formula once again?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. Because what you could have done too is you could have just typed in, what is it? The 299.70, just multiply by the tax. But just know that you're going to have to round it yourself. Okay.
Oh no, I'm okay. What I was doing was I was just in a sale doing the equal round,
Mhm.
and then when I hit enter, it just erased it, and I'm like just standing. I'm just sitting here like, huh? Yeah, no, I'm fine with this. I mean, this is no problem with me, so I'm good.
Okay. So we returned to customer B this amount, the 324.43. Okay. Everybody okay here now?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see what has happened next. Okay, so what happened on May 15? Oh, wait, we already did that one. No, we got one more transaction right here. What happened on that same day?
We sold 25 mugs for cash.
Okay, good. 25 mugs for cash. So what is my journal going to look like?
Cash, code 102. Sales 401. Tax 230.
I think I'm getting lost on our dates. May 12th, and then May 5th. I don't see anything
Oh,
else for May 12th. Are we on May?
okay, so May 12th, we sold to customer B. I put a typo. This is supposed to be May 15th.
Returns. Okay.
Yeah, customer B returns on the 15th. Okay, so 3 days later they returned. But that same day, I also encountered I sold 25 mugs that same day.
For the 9.99 cash, right?
Correct. Okay. So here I sold 25 mugs for cash. Okay. So this is May 15. So how much was my total sales?
249.75.
249.75. Good. What was my tax?
Wait, that would have been. $20.60.
for $20.60 or 40.
So what?
What did you say? 2060?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So how much cash am I receiving?
270.35.
270.35. Good. All right. All right. So let's see what happened next on the 18th.
On the 18th, customer A paid in full with cash.
Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at customer A. When did we sell to customer A?
On the 6th of May.
On the 6th of May, right? If they're paying now on the 18th, did they meet the terms?
No.
No, they just missed it. They just barely missed it. So let's take a look at our journal, okay, since we don't have our ledger, or we'll talk about more about that when we dive into the fictitious business. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and scroll up to my transaction for that transaction on May 6th. So here we are, accounts receivable, sales for customer A for selling 20 mugs. So in grand total, how much does customer A owe me?
$16.28. $216.
Good. So that's how much they owe me. If they're going to pay me in cash, in full, what is my journal going to look like?
You would do the cash because you're receiving the cash in full,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would credit your accounts receivable.
Correct. Because they're reducing the amount they owe me, right? By paying me. So accounts receivable is this one. And we just solved for it. It was for the 218 or 216.28. Okay, that's the amount that they owe me, and that's the amount that they paid in full with cash. So here, I'm just going to make a little note that customer A paid in full. Okay. Now, does a customer making a payment, does that affect my inventory worksheet?
No.
No, right? This is still in regards to sales, right? This is my customer just paying me for what they owe. Nothing to do with it. Now, if I were to pay off something that I purchased, would that affect my inventory worksheet?
Yeah.
Yes. If I made the discount, yes, it would. Okay. So here, I recognize that my customer has paid me. So let's go ahead and see what has happened next on that same day. Okay, so here, what happened here?
You sold 50 mugs at $9.99 each for cash.
Perfect. We sold more mugs for more money. Okay, so this time we sold 50 mugs for $9.99 each for cash. So in this case, it is a cash sales. All right, this time it is May 18. Okay, so and this time I sold 50 mugs. Okay, so from here, what is my total sales?
49.
Good. 49,950. Okay. How much is my tax going to be?
4120.
4120. 4121. Yeah, I think it's like 208 or something. Okay. Okay. So, therefore, how much cash am I going to be receiving?
540.71.
Perfect. 540.71. Okay. Give you guys a second to catch up. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and complete May 20th, and then we'll stop there and take a break. Okay. So, May 20th. What has happened here?
You
Purchase
purchased.
400.
Go ahead.
Purchase 400 mugs at 280 each. Freight cost 80.
Okay, so 400 at 280 with a freight of 280. So we go into my inventory worksheet here. Okay. It is May 20th. We purchased 400 items at 280 with a freight of 80. So what's my total purchase price here?
1,020. 11 again.
Good. Plus $80 gives me a total of 1,200. All right. Making my cost per item to be
$3.
$3 even. Okay. So let's go ahead and journalize this because what else did we do? We placed it on an account, right? On an account from Cuppy's Co. We're given more terms. So this time, if we pay them within the next 15 days, we'll get a 5% discount. So let's go ahead and journalize this. So what am I going to recognize?
Accounts receivable.
Is this a customer or is this a vendor?
Purchase expense,
Purchase expense.
then fraud expense, and then accounts payable.
Correct, right? We're owing somebody else. So I'm going to go look up for like an account. So purchase, freight, and accounts payable. Good. All right. So this is May 20th. Okay. And we purchased 400 mugs at $280. Okay. So once again, we solved for our purchase price to be $11.20. Freight costing me $80 to give me a grand total of $1,200. Right, we already solved that in our inventory worksheet. Okay. Right. We recognize the vendor and we recognize our terms. Okay. So, what's the last thing that happened on May 20th?
Sold 30 mugs at $9.99.
Good. For what? Yes. We received more cash, so we have another cash sales. Okay. So place that right here. It is May 20th. All right. I sold. How many mugs did I sell? 30 mugs. Good. So what's my total sales?
$2.99 and 70 cents.
Good. All right. What's my tax on that?
$24.73.
Good. Bringing my total amount of cash to be
$300, 324.70 43.
good. No worries. Okay. So good. Now, this is a typical trail of any typical business, right? When we're dealing with our fictitious business, we're going to do this every single day. So it may be tedious, but that's exactly what we need to learn. We need to make sure when we recognize a transaction, this is exactly how we're going to record it. Now, there may be different scenarios where we might have, a sale, like a discount sales, right? So let's stop here and go on a break. Okay.